When a man is secretly in love, he often won't just say it out loud. Instead, he expresses it through subtle actions, body language, and psychological cues. According to Carl Jung, much of human behavior, especially around love, is driven by unconscious forces. So if someone is hiding romantic feelings, it's not necessarily because they don't want to love you. It's because their inner world is at war with their outer behavior. Jung believed that we are often ruled by our shadow, the unconscious parts of ourselves that we don't fully understand or want to reveal. A man who is secretly in love may be struggling with this exact dynamic. He might feel vulnerable, unsure, or even afraid of rejection. That fear drives him to hide what he really feels. But his unconscious mind still leaks the truth. Let's look at 7 powerful signs, rooted in Jungian psychology, that a man is in love with you, even if he's doing everything he can to hide it. Sign number 1. He projects idealized qualities onto you. Carl Jung's concept of anima and projection is crucial here. When a man falls in love, especially secretly, he often projects his inner ideal of a woman onto the person he loves. This projection is not just admiration, it's deeper. He sees in you the embodiment of traits he's unconsciously searching for. You become a symbol of something sacred to him. If he often says things like, "You're not like other women," or treats you as someone incredibly special without explanation, he may be seeing you not just as a person, but as a reflection of his inner ideal. Projection is unconscious, so he might not even realize he's doing this. But the intensity of his attention, the way he hangs on your words, or the admiration in his eyes, often signals that he's seeing you as more than just a friend. He's seeing you as someone important to his psychological and emotional world. But here's the twist. Because he's idealizing you, he might also feel intimidated or unworthy. This makes him pull back, second-guess, or even avoid confessing his feelings. Sign number 2. His behavior contradicts his words. Jung emphasized the conflict between the persona, the mask we show the world, and the true self. A man who is secretly in love might say one thing, like, "We're just friends," but behave in a completely different way. He'll offer you his full attention. He'll remember tiny details about your life. He'll go out of his way to help you, support you, or make you laugh. Yet when asked directly, he might downplay the connection or even act like it's no big deal. This contradiction is a classic Jungian signal that his unconscious feelings are not aligned with his conscious self-image. Maybe he doesn't want to admit that he loves you because it challenges his ego. Or maybe he's afraid of losing your friendship or facing rejection. But this tension between what he says and what he does is a huge clue. Jung believed that what we repress will always find a way to surface. And in love, this often shows up as behavior that leaks out despite our efforts to suppress it. Watch for moments where his emotions spill out unexpectedly. A look that lingers too long, an overly protective reaction, or even jealousy. These are signs his unconscious is speaking louder than his mouth ever could. Many people think that love is loud, obvious, and easy to recognize. But according to Carl Jung, love often lives in the unconscious before it ever reaches the surface. That's why some of the most powerful signs that a man is secretly in love are also the quietest, the ones you notice only when you pay close attention to what's underneath the surface. While his words may seem neutral or even distant, his emotions can reveal a truth he isn't ready to face himself. These hidden feelings often emerge when he reacts to situations emotionally, sometimes in ways that surprise even him. Sign number 3. He shows subtle jealousy, even when he tries to hide it. According to Jung, jealousy is often a product of the shadow, the repressed emotions and impulses we try to ignore. A man who is secretly in love but hasn't accepted it consciously may not show outright jealousy, but small hints can betray his deeper feelings. He might ask about other men in your life, trying to sound casual, but the tone of his voice changes. He might withdraw slightly when you mention someone else, or make sarcastic comments that don't match the mood. These reactions may seem small, but they reflect a bigger truth. He feels threatened by the idea of losing your attention to someone else. This kind of jealousy is not loud or dramatic. It's restrained, subtle, and often confusing. That's because it comes from a part of him he doesn't want to acknowledge. It's a protective impulse rooted in his unconscious desire for closeness with you. Jung would say that when someone represses an emotion like love, it doesn't disappear. It simply moves into the unconscious, where it manifests through behaviors the person can't fully explain. In this case, jealousy becomes one of the clearest windows into what he's really feeling. Sign number 4. He's emotionally attuned to you in unusual ways. When a man is secretly in love, his unconscious attention locks onto your emotional state. He notices when you're upset, even when you try to hide it. He senses when you're pulling away, even before you've said a word. This kind of attunement goes beyond friendship. It's as if he's wired into your emotional frequency. Jung believed that emotional energy, what he called libido, isn't just about sexuality. It's a psychological force that connects people, often unconsciously. When a man's libido is secretly invested in you, he becomes hyper-aware of your moods, needs, and changes. This often shows up in moments where he seems to read your mind. He texts when you're thinking about him. He offers support before you even ask. He knows what to say to calm you down or lift your spirits, even if you've barely expressed what's wrong. This kind of connection is not accidental. It comes from emotional investment. He's paying more attention to you than even he realizes. And the fact that he does this without openly admitting his feelings is what makes it so revealing. He might say, "I just want to make sure you're okay," or "You seem off today." But behind those words is a deeper reality. Your emotions affect him more than they should, unless he's in love. Part 3. Hidden Desires and Archetypal Clues, Signs 5 and 6. In Jungian psychology, the most important truths about a person are often hidden in their unconscious mind. When a man is secretly in love, his behaviors aren't just random, they're symbolic. They reflect deep archetypes and patterns that reveal far more than his words ever could. If you're wondering whether a man harbors secret feelings, the next 2 signs will help you see the truth that even he might be afraid to admit. Sign number 5. He seeks deep, one-on-one conversations with you. Carl Jung emphasized that real connection happens through what he called individuation, the process of integrating the conscious and unconscious into a whole self. A man in this process often longs for meaningful connection, not just surface-level interaction. When he's secretly in love with you, this shows up as a desire to talk, really talk. He asks deep questions, not just about your day, but about your past, your dreams, your wounds, your fears. He listens with intensity and remembers the smallest details. These aren't casual conversations, they're emotionally charged moments of intimacy. And here's the key. He doesn't do this with everyone. You'll notice he's more emotionally open with you than with others. He might share parts of himself he doesn't normally reveal. This is not just a sign of trust. It's a reflection of how emotionally bonded he feels with you. In Jungian terms, this kind of deep exchange is a form of soul connection. Whether he realizes it or not, he's letting his guard down because your presence activates something in him that feels psychologically safe and emotionally significant. But because these conversations are so personal, he may become self-conscious after them. He might retreat or act aloof the next day, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares more than he wants to admit. Sign number 6. He tries to protect or guide you without admitting why. Jung spoke often of the animus, the inner masculine energy within women, and how men often feel drawn to play the role of protector or guide in relationships, even unconsciously. A man who is secretly in love will often act as if it's his duty to protect you, guide you, or steer you away from harm. This isn't always dramatic. It might be as small as walking on the side of traffic when you're out together, warning you about people he doesn't trust, or giving you career or life advice with surprising passion. What makes this significant is that he does it with emotion. He's not neutral about your well-being, he's invested. He may not say, "I love you," but his actions scream it. "I want you safe. I want you happy. I want you to make the right choices." This type of guidance often comes with emotion he can't fully control. Frustration when you're hurt, relief when you succeed, tension when he thinks you're putting yourself at risk. These emotional reactions come from a deeper archetypal place. He sees himself in a role that matters to you. He needs to matter to you. But again, because he's hiding his feelings, he often delivers this protection under the disguise of friendship or even annoyance. He might say, "I don't know why you keep talking to that guy," and act like it's just an opinion, but the truth is, it hurts him, even if he can't say why. This behavior reflects the tension between his conscious self and his unconscious longing. Jung would say he's expressing love in the only way he feels safe doing, through action, not confession. After everything we've explored so far, one thing should be clear: love, especially hidden love, is rarely logical. According to Carl Jung, most of what we feel, want, and fear lives below the surface of our awareness. And that's what makes secret love so intense and so confusing. A man might not even realize how deeply he feels, or he might realize it completely, but fear rejection, abandonment, or the collapse of the current relationship dynamic. So instead of expressing love directly, he leaks love through behaviors, reactions, and contradictions. And that leads us to the final, and perhaps most telling, sign of all. Sign number 7. He acts hot and cold because he's at war with himself. One of the most frustrating signs that a man is secretly in love with you is emotional inconsistency. He shows up fully one day, makes you feel special, emotionally seen, maybe even flirts, and then pulls back the next, becomes distant, distracted, or even cold. This isn't manipulation. It's not a game. It's a psychological struggle. According to Jung, this kind of behavior often reflects a conflict between the conscious and unconscious. Consciously, he may be telling himself, she's just a friend, or this can't happen. But unconsciously, he's deeply attached, invested, even emotionally dependent on you. This creates a back-and-forth dynamic where he feels overwhelmed by his own emotions and tries to shut them down, only to find they return stronger. His hot moments are when he surrenders to what he feels. His cold moments are when his defenses kick in. He might even ghost you for a few days, only to reappear with a meaningful message or act indifferent in front of others, then send a thoughtful text late at night. This tension is not about you. It's about his inner war. Jung believed that our psychological growth depends on integrating these parts of ourselves: the rational and the emotional, the conscious and the unconscious, the fearful and the loving. Until a man confronts this inner split, he will remain stuck in the cycle of expressing and repressing his love. And if you're on the receiving end of this, it can feel destabilizing. But it's also incredibly revealing, because the very fact that he can't stay consistent often means his feelings for you are deeper than he's ready to admit. So what can you do with this knowledge? First, understand that his silence doesn't mean absence of feeling. If you've seen several of the signs in this series, especially the contradictions, the protectiveness, the subtle jealousy, and the emotional depth, then his unconscious has already spoken. The real question is, what do you want? Jung believed that relationships are crucibles for transformation. If this man is important to you, you can either wait for him to integrate his feelings or gently create the space for honesty. That doesn't mean pressuring him to confess, but rather responding with openness and clarity. You can mirror emotional availability. You can ask direct, grounded questions. You can observe not just what he says, but how he behaves when he's near you, how he reacts to your happiness, your pain, your presence. And most importantly, remember, if someone's love for you is real, it will find a way to emerge eventually. Jung said, what you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. If he continues resisting his love, it won't just disappear. It will intensify until it forces him to choose, stay hidden, or step into vulnerability. Whether or not he chooses to act on his feelings, these signs have shown you what's already true. The real love stories often begin long before the first kiss. They begin in the unconscious, in the secret space between two souls that recognize each other, even when no one else does.